Good morning, everyone. Hope we are doing well. Today is day 2 of the conversations with the filmmakers for the Accra Indie Film Festival. And I'm happy to be here today again. I am your usual moderator, Alice Johnson, and today is going to be an exciting one. We have amazing filmmakers in the house today, and they're just joining in now. So let me quickly add them. Don't forget, this is a safe space. Always send in your comments and your questions to our filmmakers. Add them to the call. Okay, I see our filmmakers are on here, but you would have to request to be a part of the call. So waiting on you to do that. But in the meantime, the film festival is happening from the 31st of July to the 5th of August, 2023. And in partnership with Alliance Française of Ghana, the festival is happening for the 5th time this year, which is exciting for all indie filmmakers in Ghana. Exciting times. And we hope that you would come around so that you can be a part of this festival. Okay. So I have on, hi.
Hello. Hi, Alice.
So do you prefer to go by Kodzo or Jojo?
Kodzo is good. Kodzo is the name.
Okay. Good morning, Kodzo. And he's joining in from Accra. And good morning, Farisai.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Joining us all the way from SA. How's the weather there?
It's a little bit chilly, but it's okay. It was snowing just the other day.
Oh.
But it's not so bad today. Yeah.
Okay.
Sun is out.
Awesome. The sun is out, and indeed we are also here for the conversation. I'm pretty excited about this one because we have a documentary from Ghana, and then we also have an animation series all the way from SA. So before we begin, I'll read out a little bit about our filmmakers, and then we'll go straight into conversation. So I'm just checking on my list. I couldn't memorize the whole, the accolades because there's too many. So I had to have them on standby. So we have Kodzo. So if I butcher your name, please forgive me, or I'll allow you to save me this time. So the surname, please help me with that.
It's Doamekpor.
Doamekpor. Okay, thank you so much. So Kodzo Doamekpor is the founder, creative lead, Good News Limited, and co-curator of Knowledge Merchant. He has an interest in people, their stories, and how to tell them. His experience as a filmmaker, publisher, graphic designer, and product designer sets his work on merging Africa's rich culture that leverages a media strategy to produce enduring stories that fit a quick-paced, multitasking, and mobile audience. It's a mouthful, but he's going to break it all down for us. So that is an intro to who Kodzo Doamekpor is. Now, I have a brief about the flagship animation that was produced by the company that FARASAI works in, and he's the lead animator for this project. Just give a brief about the project, and then I'll allow you to introduce himself to us. So the Formation Animation Flagship project, Azania Rises, is an epic science fiction animation series set in the near future. Azania Rises asks the question, what would a fully realized African look like? And how would it come about? And then goes about answering this question in spectacular fashion. So I'll start now with Faris. I'd like you to give us a background of you as a lead animator on this project and basically just tell us your journey in the creative industry.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm Farisai. I'm the lead animator on this project. I've been working on this project for about the last 3 years. It was conceived by the founding partner in this project. His name is Farisai. And he was basically inspired by this dream of a united African continent, a fully realized one, and what that would look like and how the world would react to something like this. So he approached me, and we started working together about 3 years ago. We started just putting out some short clips on YouTube, on our Azania Rises channel. And since then, we've been developing the story, developing the art style, developing the animation in general. And we came to a point where we released a short film about 1.5 years ago, which screened there at the Accra International Film Festival. And then we've been busy the last year trying to develop the actual series itself. We're developing a series based on this concept, about 12 episodes, 3D animated, sci-fi, futuristic. And that's where we're at the moment. We've submitted our proof of concept for this festival. And yeah, we're looking forward to finally getting the project onto a big platform so we can start sharing our vision with the rest of the world.
Amazing stuff right there. That's a futuristic ideals of my about. I'll get back to you on that. And I come up with. I see you already have some fans up in the building. I saw someone saying, Mr. Steve Kavayi rather. Okay, so Steve Kavayi, you have someone here who is here for you watching this particular live. Kodzo, from graphic design, filmmaking, a multiplicity of, outcomes, all combined to make this particular dream come true with the good news entertainment that you do. What exactly was your motivation to go into filmmaking, and how has the journey been for you so far?
That's a good question. I have always wanted to publish in some way. And then very early on, I accepted that I wanted to publish in all ways. So it included publication with books, with design, with web, all the media were available. And that's why my approach is always a cross-media approach. When I pick something, I try to approach it from all perspectives, just so that I can have the effect of it through photography. I can have the effect of it through a book. I can have the effect of it through film. And I find that film, making film together, you need the designers, the motion graphics to put the opening sequence and all of it together. So that has always been my approach, and I guess Mandem is a combination of all the stuff that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So to be honest, this is my first baby of everything else. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Amazing, and it looked like it was just, well, come and sit in front of the camera and speak. I see that the that into the look and feel. So I see how the graphic design into the filmmaking. Now, how difficult, how easy it was for you to migrate from a different art form into filmmaking, especially as a filmmaker or indie filmmaker in Ghana?
That's an interesting question because we started Mandem as a skit. it was supposed to be 3 minutes. I went to a neighborhood where these people were, and I saw that they had very authentic stories. They were stories that I wanted to be published to see. I started to have the conversations with them and build with them in order to collect them. It was too much. I couldn't small skits. It was supposed to just last a month. We started in January. We were supposed to put it out in February, but we ended up putting it out the year after. With the plans when we go into to collect people's stories, we go in with a mindset, and the people tell us what they want to see, and we stay true to that. And so it started as the stories. We realized that there was information to put here, so if we just took our time and then put it out the way that the people gave it to us. It was difficult because at first, like, we didn't have the budget for this work, and we didn't even have the personnel to do it. But thankfully, I have a great team. There were many points where I was like, "Oh man, this is more than we've been saying. This, you can't even chew this." But they kept saying what you always wanted to do. Time is now. We are here to work together, and so the team got together. We got the work done, and finally we're here. To be honest, being selected for a film festival is surreal. We didn't see it coming. We didn't see it coming at all.
Content you make out. There isn't really a lot of time put into it. But then this is to show that you didn't need resources much as you would need for a feature, no matter how thinking of resources going to. This is just evidence of it. So congrats on selected for the Accra Indie Film Festival. Now I'll go to FARASAI, sense of how long it takes for you to even just mold the character into being, not to talk even the environment, every single thing. Now this is a very futuristic. It's very I won't want to compare it to another project, but then it has a very futuristic feel to it, and it's a very interesting visuals. I'll just put it that way, so that the audience will want to come and watch it because it's really amazing. And last year, so congrats to you again this year. Now, kind of give us a breakdown in months terms. What kind of effort goes into animation, especially for a project like Azania Rises?
Yeah, quite a lot, to put it very lightly. The process is quite a long one. We start off with the writing of the script, and then there's so we've got a pretty fully stacked team. Let me just start by describing our team. We've got a writing team. Coordinating that is a lot of work. The editing process, which takes a long time in itself, and then we have to go into storyboarding, and then choosing all the right angles, planning all our shots and all of that, and then we have to get into the actual animation itself. So that for that includes the process of designing and making sure they work. We have to think about all the actions that we perform in the clip itself. So we have to think about all the accessories that come with them. Translate the storyboards that we have into the animation itself. So that in itself is what we do on our side. We use motion capture technology, and that's coming from that includes the body work as well as the voice, the facial capture as well. And obviously with the facial capture, that goes hand in hand with the voice acting. So we have to coordinate getting the voice acting work done, and then getting the clips we're happy with and turning that into the facial performance that we want to see on the screen. And then after all of that is done, we now need to have a time-locked picture that we send off to the music team as well as the sound team for them to do their work, get all the right music in, get all the sound effects in, and then put it all together, edit it all together, make it coherent, make it make it make sense as a production in a timeline, and put in the finishing touches like the visual effects, the other special effects that go on top of animation. And yeah, and that's it in a nutshell. But it's a real big process, and a lot of back and forth here. It's our first gig for us. There was a lot of learning that we had to do within producing not only the short film but the film that we've submitted this year as well.
Listeners, I don't know if you were following along, if you're an audience here. I mean, it's a whole list from this to that to this to that, and it looked so real. Like when I was watching, so how were you able to achieve that? I would just like you to briefly speak on that, because most animations are really cartoon-like. They have a very, this looked more than 3D. It looked more human. So how are you able to incorporate technology to make them look so human?
Yeah, I think what's been great in terms of the timing of when we started working on this project is we're working with Epic Games, who produce Unreal Engine, which is completely free. It's a completely free software, and they also use. They've also come up with MetaHuman. The MetaHuman character design program, which is also completely free, which adds a ton of extra realism to facial motions and things that previously access to. So we're in a very good time in terms of being able to harness this free technology and just practice with it. And it's been really great to be an indie filmmaker in the 3D space in this sense. So yeah, a lot of the learning that we've been doing is trying to learn the software to go for that extra realism, that extra 3D realism. And we've been encouraged to go that route. I know there's a lot of the trend, the popular trend at the moment is to go for this really stylized sort of comic book look. Think of the new Spider-Man movie and the new series that has come out on Disney Plus. That's very stylized, but we're aiming to be a little bit different from that. We want to go for a more realistic sort of look with our show, and we've been encouraged to do that by other shows that are already on Netflix, like Love, Death and Robots, for example. They have some episodes that lean into that realistic style. So yeah, with that style.
Africa, and that's the city of film and technology and AI and all these interesting technologies that are being developed in the creative space. It's amazing to know that this is actually coming to. When I heard the title, I was thinking, is it only? And then I saw some women make some cameos in there. And what inspired the title Mandem?
It's actually, Mandem is a term that's already well known, like globally. But where I used to work with a television station, and there was a young man with us that we used to call Mandem. And his story was intriguing. I think he had his first child when he was 16, when he was still a teenager or so. And the first time I heard it just, I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't understand how somebody could have a child so quick, so early. So I was curious about the lifestyle and how he put himself together to fend for himself and his family. So initially, the documentary was supposed to be about him and his family and how he was living. But then I found out that it was something that was quite common, and that there were a lot of people with stories like who had similar stories and then put it in one piece so that we can send a message. So, like I said, it started as someone's name. It's just someone's nickname, and then we use the entire documentary. Yeah. And the interesting thing about this is that when you call him Mandem, he says remove. And this remove thing especially started after the pandemic, when people were struggling to make ends meet, trying to figure themselves out. We move, and so it was given. There was no other way that we're going to do it and not add it. So even up till now, when we produce Mandem, there's a particular neighborhood that we go to. Anywhere you say it, that's the response that they give. It's become like an anthem for them. Like when even they see me and call me Mandem. Because we're able to capture what they were trying to say for them and put them on. Yeah.
It's interesting you take it from the male's perspective, because we usually have young ladies are getting pregnant at early age.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
as much as yes, you were inspired at this age, and everyone forgets that they were impregnated by the male. So the stories now being told one side.
The line was breaking, so I think I just heard the last part about highlighting the male perspective. Is that what the question is?
Yes, basically, it was about the reason why you decided to highlight the perspective.
It wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional at all. It just happened to. We're figuring things out. He led us one way. We actually have perspectives of women in the film, which are actually very interesting. It's actually one of my favorite parts. But us catering to men and their struggle was not intentional at all. It's just where the story took us. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure spoilers. Sorry that you came here for. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
and enjoy beautiful act of filmmaking. So I'm going to go to FARASAI. I would like to get a sense of the animation industry in South Africa. just a brief overview.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's coming up. It's on the rise. As you know, as Azania Rises, we're pretty new in the industry, but we've come to that. There's quite a lot of people that are trying to trying to really make it as mainstream as it is overseas. There are a lot of big studios within South Africa. I think the biggest one that a lot of people would be familiar with is Triggerfish. They've done a lot of work with Disney and Netflix. So they're definitely flying the flag in terms of animation on an international stage coming out of Africa. But I think the industry itself is starting to develop. I've been privileged enough to be part of some development projects around the animation space and see some of the projects that a lot of indie filmmakers are trying to get off the ground, and it's really quite encouraging. So yeah, it's definitely one of those. We're not quite there yet, but watch this space. It's going to be pretty big pretty soon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Amazing. Watch this space, people. And I'd just like to get into the story, like the series, the animation series. I realized that there were some interesting. So some of the names resonated with me, and so I saw a Bing, I saw a number of familiar names, and then also I saw that the design, or should I say the emblem for Azania Rises was Nyanyuie. It kind of resonated with me, even though I'm not South African. I may not necessarily be relate with South Africa, but then that particular aspect of the whole series resonated with me. And I would like to know what your
Yeah,
influences
sorry,
were.
you cut out
What
for
were
quite
the
a little bit there,
influences
but what
for
I
this
managed to
particular
catch
film?
of your
Apart from
question
Ghana,
was
I
you,
saw,
you noticed a lot of
I mean, what's the
names
take, a
and
holistic
symbolism
view?
that
Just give me a holistic view
is
of
very
the whole
much
series
inspired
and what's
by things coming from the rest of the continent.
yeah.
I think yeah. So with what we're trying to produce, we're definitely trying to. We obviously have a futuristic vision that we want to envision for our continent, but we're also inspired by what's currently here and currently inspires and resonates with people on the continent right now. And the names that are we're very to represent. If we're a united continent, we want to represent as much of the continent as we can. So that we and it won't just be a name that comes with a character. It will be some of the cultures and traditions that. Yeah, so essentially we are very much inspired by Africa as it is right now, but just putting that in a futuristic sci-fi setting. And yeah, we really as relatable as possible.
Mm, that's awesome, and it's definitely going to resonate with anyone who is from the African continent that watches it. Will definitely enjoy it. And I'd like to say hello to everyone who has joined in this morning's all the other things that demand your creative expertise. What do you?
Oh, okay. Eating. But yeah, but generally, I'm feeding myself because I love to watch films generally. Uh, just watch a lot of my favorite directors, my favorite
Mm.
producers, and the stuff that they do. And I also like to go to the gym because I find that the a lot of my a lot of my discipline comes from there. I'm able to lead over from there into do when I sit down to get work done. So I spend a lot of time in the gym as well. So food, watching, just feeding my eudaimonic bank with content and then working out. Yeah. Hey, you won't be shocked if I come
It's
a film on food. I won't be shocked. It's very easy for me. It's very easy. It's very easy. Yeah.
What about you, Farisai?
Yeah, it sounds a lot like myself and Kodzo are very similar. I do love food, maybe not as much as you do, but I do spend quite a bit of time in the gym
Yeah.
just for fitness and just for mental health sake as well. And yeah, I'm geek at heart. I watch a lot of
Would love to see it.
Star Wars and yeah, yeah. So yeah, that'll be it. I also have another 9 to 5 job of
What
animation,
about you, Farisai?
so that does keep me busy as well.
Not
I
It's a bit of a lag.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag.
Mm.
Alice, did you? Yeah, we can hear you now.
mm.
We can hear you now. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, there a lot. I I'm not great at redelivering old jokes, so I don't know how I'm going to do. But it's first of all, it was a close-knit community. So the thing about so we shot the whole documentary on one street, right? And
Mm.
the street is in such a way that there's a lot of misconception about the street that people are afraid to enter the street. Like even if you call an Uber, he will wait at the end of the street. He won't come in. You'd have to go out and meet him. But I found out that when you get in and the people get to know you, it's a whole different world. They feed you, they give you drinks, like they are shoving these things in your face. They're cracking jokes 247. One of the things that is recurring is them on a Betway app or a Super Bet app, like they are screaming stuff like that. It's like family, and so I think those are the times that I enjoyed the most because they didn't treat us like we were strangers.
Amazing. interact with humans directly?
I'm so sorry, I missed your question there.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you now.
Hello? Network issues.
well, well, you'd be
guys hear me?
surprised. This whole process of putting together, you actually have to interact with human beings quite a lot, just to coordinate the different teams. But what I can say is, yeah, I don't have one particular funny moment. I think the most fun I had was being in the studio directing the voice actors. I think
That sounds like a lot of fun.
seeing the voice actors, yeah, absolutely, seeing them coming up with their voices and acting it out while they're in the voice booth, in the recording booth. I think that was the most fun I had. So yeah, that would be mine. I think if you've got any ambition, any dream of seeing a united African continent and seeing what that would look like in a sci-fi setting, then I think this would be the kind of film that you would enjoy. It's got mystery, it's got thoughtful questions about what our role would be if we became a superpower in the future. Um,
Yeah, sounds sick.
Thank you, Kodzo. I appreciate that, man. Can't wait to see Mandan as well.
If
Great.
if you ever feel like
And
you have experiences that you are alone in, you ever feel like this is all me, I'm the only one going through this, you should definitely come and see Mandem because you find out that we are all going through this.
we all in this together.
Beautiful.
Everybody's going through something. So come around, interact with filmmakers, interact with films. From the 31st of July to the 5th of August, we're going to be having the Accra Indie Film Festival, and it's going to be amazing. But before we end, it's also going to end. It's on Friday. So follow the Accra Indie Film Festival page to get all the details that you need. And going to be amazing. There's going to be karaoke sessions. There's going to be film screenings. You don't want to miss out on. I like to say
Looks like we're pro.
I could just see it with the loading
for joining
bar.
us
Yeah.
for the